No, the Jews had an idea that during the time of Jesus, they had an idea of what the Messiah was going to be like. And so we don't just leave it in the Old Testament. Let's bring it over into Jesus' day. Even when Jesus shows up on the scene and he makes a statement that I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me, Jesus shows up and the Jews said, no, you're not the Messiah. You know why you're not the Messiah? Because you don't fit. You don't fit the picture we have of a Messiah. And so, their idea was that there's going to be this Messiah who shows up and who rescues them from Roman tyranny, from the Roman government, rescues them from being oppressed by the people, who restores for them this place called Jerusalem that is the holy city of God, and anyone who doesn't belong here is kicked out. That's the idea that they had. That they would self-govern, that they would govern themselves, and there would never be a kingdom that would destroy his. And by the way, that's why Jesus did come, except that it wasn't necessarily to do it here on earth yet. I mean, he came to conquer sin. He came to conquer death. That was what he came to conquer. That's what he came to overthrow. He came to overthrow the evil one. He came to fulfill Genesis 3:15, that you will strike his heel, but he will crush your head. That's what he came to fulfill, was to defeat Satan, to take all of his power away. You know why? So that we wouldn't have to be afraid. So we wouldn't have to be afraid any longer. And so you had this Jewish idea of the Messiah, and still they're stubborn. They won't believe, even though Jesus, miracle after miracle, event after event, and they still say, you're really not adding up. And so they refuse to recognize that he was the way. Now here's the problem. The thought today that there are many ways to God. See, here's what I've discovered, and this is the point. This is the point, at least, of this heading, that Jesus is the way. See, the problem is we're just like, the church today is just like God's people, like they've always been. We are stubborn. We are stiff-necked. We bull up when we don't get our way. Yeah, you do. I do too. And we are just as stubborn. We are just as self-absorbed. We forget what God has done in the past, and we become, what have you done for me lately followers. That's what I see a lot of in the church today. Now, those who are maybe visiting for the first time, when I make a statement like that in the church today, I'm not just talking about Crossroads, although sometimes I'm talking about Crossroads. I mean, we're included in the church. The church is bigger than Crossroads. The church is bigger than Danville, Illinois. I'm talking about the church. The church today is self-absorbed, oftentimes self-absorbed, stubborn, stiff-necked, just as much as God's people Israel in the Old Testament. And we get caught up in so many things. What have you done for me lately, God? In fact, here's one of the most disturbing things to me. This is one of the most disturbing things, is that we expect Jesus, we're just like the Jews of Jesus' day. We expect Jesus to come and rescue us from our current economy. Now please don't hear that in a heartless way, because I do think God cares. God cares. But lest you forget that there are believers who are far worse off than we are elsewhere around the world. So let's be careful. Let's be careful in the American church before we start saying that we have any sort of favoritism before God, because I don't believe we do. And quite frankly, that makes some people angry. And if that makes you angry, then take it up with Him. Because the truth is, God is not a respecter of persons. He is not a respecter of nations. What God seeks are followers, obedient followers. And honestly, in the church today, what I see is a gospel that is preached that Jesus is going to come and He's going to rescue us. He's going to deliver us to perfect health and abundant wealth. That's what I hear preached. Where has the message gone that Jesus came to deliver us from sin? Where has the message gone that Jesus came to give us victory over death? Because that's why He came. Just like the Jews of His day mistook the Messiah for someone who would come and overthrow the Roman government, in the American church today especially, we mistake the Messiah for someone who comes and gives us every desirable gift that we have. Anything that we will name and claim that He will provide for us. And there is no place in Scripture that suggests that that's true. Why do we have life and life more abundant? Because He came and He shed His blood on a cross. And the gift that He gave you, the one and only gift that He gave you, was grace. It was His grace. And so Jesus says, I'm the way. And it makes no difference what other people say about how many ways there are. It makes no difference. In fact, Tony Campolo, one of my favorite stories of Tony Campolo is when he's flying into Philadelphia one time, going back to Eastern College. And he's flying into Philadelphia and it's a storm. And this guy sitting next to him, Tony Campolo would say, when I wanted to talk to someone, I would tell them that I was a sociologist from Eastern College. But if I didn't want to talk, I would say I was an ordained Baptist minister. Let me tell you something, it works. If you tell somebody you're a minister, whoop, you know. And so he said, I turned to this guy, he asked me, you know, I've been listening to him spout off during the flight, and he said, he turns to me and he asked me what I do. And so I said, I'm an ordained Baptist minister. He said, didn't even slow the guy down. He just kept going. He goes, you know what my thoughts on theology are? You want to know what my thoughts are? And Tony said, I thought to myself, no, but I went ahead and said, oh yeah, okay, what? And the guy said, I think that there are many pathways into heaven. Oh man, that's a popular idea today, isn't it? There are many pathways into heaven. And it really doesn't make any difference which way you take. You're going to get there. You're going to arrive there. And so as they approached Philadelphia and the storm had closed in around Philadelphia, and there was lightning and there was thunder and the plane was shaking and you know, they couldn't see the runway. And Tony said, I prayed for a teachable moment and God provided it. And he said, I looked at the guy and I said, you know what? I am really glad that our pilot doesn't share your same philosophy. And he goes, what do you mean? And he goes, well, right now our pilot could be up there saying, you know, there are many pathways into Philadelphia. But no, he's in contact with the tower. And the tower has us on radar. And the radar is guiding us in. And so we have a guide down there on the ground. And he is bringing us in on a specific path to a specific runway at a specific time. I am certainly glad that he doesn't share your same philosophy. Folks, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Jesus has the lead because he is the way. And there will be people who say, well, that's offensive. It's the truth. And elsewhere in Scripture, lest you forget this, elsewhere in Scripture we are told that his words would offend, that his words would divide, even family. And that his word will even cut us to pieces. It will cut to the very heart, cut the calluses off of our hearts, and cut to the very marrow of our bone.